Is the economy starting to cool? April's producer price index, that rose 2.3% on an annual basis. That's below estimates and the slowest annual increase since January of 2021. This as initial weekly jobless claims came in above expectations at 264,000. That's the highest level since October of 2021 here. And so just taking a look at some of the context that was added within this report on the PPI front, particularly 80% of the rise in the index for the final demand, that's attributable to about a 0.3% increase in prices for final demand services and final demand goods. They advanced by about 0.2% there. And then they go into some additional context, less food, energy, trade services rising 0.2% during the month.
Yeah, and all of this is good for the Fed, to put it simply. As we talked about earlier, this is gradual. This is not like inflation is day one, right? But this is directionally the right place that the Fed wants it to go. That is, we are starting to see the job market slack start to come out a little bit, right? And we're not seeing jobs as plentiful. We are seeing, even though, yes, the unemployment rate is very low, there are some signs creeping in of a little bit more weakness there. There are some signs creeping in that inflation is starting to come down to some extent. I'm just looking at, as I like to, the FedWatch tool on the CME, yes. Right? Yep. What is the current probability about what's going to happen for the next Fed meeting? And there's currently nothing being priced in for an increase at the next meeting. There's a very small probability being priced in of a cut of about 3.1%. And then if you go out to December, as I like to do as well, there are much more probability being priced in of a cut at that point in time, which would imply the economy is going to slow a lot more. But it's always interesting to see what people think after these kinds of reports.
Absolutely. And I know we've spent a lot of time tracking even eggs as well, and egg production here particularly. I told our team to cue the egg graphic, but all in, important to note that the index for chicken eggs, that dropped 37.9% here. You also saw prices for jet fuel and light motor trucks also decline. However, some of the areas where you did see advances, 8.4% advance in prices for gasoline. That was a major factor in the April increase in the index for the final demand goods. And then prices for fresh, dry vegetables, carbon steel scrap, plastic resins, materials, aircraft and aircraft equipment, that also moved higher as well within this report.